Hello once again, and welcome back to Humankind. I was just watching this train drive directly into the ocean. I didn't teach them to do that. I don't know what's going on down there. Anyway, we are ready to move into the final era of the game, and we're getting close to the end. You can see our world state, just like last time. We've got a lot of area under control. We have an outpost down here on this island. And our foes, the Green Empire, still over here being kind of annoying. How are these independent peoples doing? 53% and 55%. Still looking for 60%. Where I could possibly turn them into my own city or make them a client state where they send me a bunch of stuff. But we're not quite there yet. Our fame, as always, remains untouchable. I'm over twice what Green has. They have no chance. So really, to win this game, all we need to do is force one of the game end conditions. And I think what I was thinking last time was, what if we went very heavily into science and tried to get the Mars mission game end state, right? That's kind of what I wanted to do, because throughout this playthrough, besides explaining how things work and showing you the different systems and stuff, I also wanted to, do a lot of different things. That's why we picked different types of cultures and did a little bit of war and a little bit of exploration. I wanted to show you kind of all the different facets of the game. But now let's move into the last era. The only other player who's here is, of course, Green. They've already selected the Japanese, which is a science culture. We could, as always, remain Russian for the extra fame bonus, but we're not going to need that. Our other choices are Australia, which is a builder culture. Brazilians are agrarian. Chinese are a merchant culture. The Egyptians are back. Modern Egypt. Remember, we started this game as ancient Egypt, but modern Egypt is now a choice, and they are an aesthete culture. All about the influence, which, I wouldn't mind that choice either. I think that's a cool choice for the last era. Indians also want influence. We have the Swedes, which is scientific. Turks are agrarian. American shows up in this era as expansionist. Their emblematic unit is the lightning, which is cool, if you want to get into that sort of warfare. And then, we've been the Russians this past era, but now the Soviets are available with their Red Army tanks. But if we're going to go for science, and Japan's already been selected, I guess we need to be the Swedes. Let's see what they get. They get prize science as their trait, which is +1 extra science for every district, and +3 science on every research quarter. So that's quite a good bonus, especially if we have lots of research quarters. Their unit is the Stealth Corvette, which is cool. It's a stealth unit, anti-aircraft, and a screening ship. So they can stop enemy torpedo vessels. That's pretty cool. Our emblematic district is Research Institute. Counts as its own research quarter, +3 science per district and per adjacent research quarter. Okay, so we could put one of these in a space, surround them with research quarters, and we'd be getting tons of science. I think that's what I'm going to shoot for. So let's do it.
The human mind, creative, imaginative, and ingenious at turning every single human invention to its most violent end. We pray or hope, looking forward to a future which, with luck, will be counted in millennia, not in months. Tolerant, smart, hardworking, great work-life balance. And on top of all that, saunas to relax in.
All right, here we go. The final era. So yeah, at this point, we just want to get as much fame as possible. Where do I see the game ending things. I know there's got to be somewhere to see it. So if you go in the menu of this game, they've got a whole encyclopedia. You can look up terms and how things work, and they have tutorials which are all like videos apparently, which is pretty cool. But I'm really just looking on how does the game end? Why isn't that an easy thing to find? Oh, okay, so when we're starting the game, I think you can turn on or off the end game conditions, so you can see them there. I don't know why we can't see it easily within the game. I think that's a weird choice. Like, there should just be a button or something that I can see, like, when is the game going to end? What can trigger it? But here's the breakdown. I think we looked at this earlier. If all empires are vassalized, the game will end, because everyone's, under the control of one main civilization, right? If all endgame technologies are researched, if all empires are eliminated, if Mars is conquered, which I think is what I'm shooting for, if the pollution gets so bad that the planet is unlivable, the game will end, or if someone's in the final era and they get all of the available stars. So if any of those things happen, the game will end, and whoever has the most fame, me, will win. We're going to go for the Mars ending, if we can. So we're going to start pumping out the science. Research Institute, plus 131 science. That is crazy. So if I put it here, and then I start making research quarters around it, it'll get even better. Man, these make a lot of science. Because it's +3 per district, right? And we have a lot of districts. That is a ridiculous amount. I don't know if I've been to Swedes before. That's a little bit crazy. Okay, right. We have our fleet down here, which was guarding our island because Green kept coming over and destroying our harbor, which was rude. We have so many districts. These research institutes do a crazy amount. And we have a new civic. Industrial production. Who should own our most important industries? We can nationalize them, which means we get every farmer's quarter we have in a city, they get a slot for an extra farmer and 10% food on all cities. That's pretty good. If we go for privatized, every farmer's quarter gives us another trader slot. So we have another person working on money, 5% money on all cities. But our farmer's quarters make us lose a little bit of stability. We'll go for nationalized.
National control of vital products and resources, paradoxically, could provide more freedom and autonomy.
We're making 8,000 science per turn. Okay, let's look at the tech tree here. Tech tree. We're in the last era. Quite a few to research, but we're going to get each one in only a few turns because of how much science we're making. If we research everything, that'll trigger the game end. And if we want to get to Mars, what do we need? I don't know exactly which ones we'll need, but I'm guessing that satellites is one of them, and rocket science. Judicial control. How is the justice system overseen? We can have open inspections or state surveillance. Whichever one you pick, it gives us a new infrastructure, I think. The People's Assembly gives us stability for every district. State surveillance gives us stability only on garrisons, but we'll also have detection. So I assume if you're worried about other players having like spies or stealth units, that would help root them out.
The fact that you're watching them doesn't mean that they won't try it anyway.
Yeah, since I picked rocket science in the tree, it's automatically researching everything we need to get there as quickly as possible. There's a spike in the flu. We can quarantine, which gives us science investing for 5 turns. Of course we want that. Or we can wait. Probably a lot of people will die. Maybe. So let's avoid that. Radar.
A proposal for your consideration.
Ah, the Japanese Agamemnon, you're back. They're needy now. Aha, they're weaker. I could go over and steamroll them if I wanted.
I will listen.
But no, we'll be peaceful. We'll start trading. Let's check out our merchant tab. Where is it? Trade routes. Here's the trade routes. We have a overseas trade over to the Japanese. And yeah, let's see. I'm pretty much the strongest world power, right? We're making 4,500 gold per turn. If I buy everything from Zulu here, it goes up. Let's buy all the luxuries from Agamemnon. Oh, that went down a little bit, but we still got a bunch of luxuries for pretty cheap, honestly. Oh yeah, now with our technologies, we can make airports. Ups the pollution quite a bit, but our trade routes become cheaper. And you get more money when the airport is next to the market quarters. There's a deep water disaster, looks like an oil spill. We can clean it up. Oh, we have so much money. This is so cheap. Or we can downplay it. I'm not that kind of guy. Let's clean it up. It's very cheap. Rocket science. Okay, now we can make the space station. We can make missile silos. If we wanted to start building towards nukes and nuke the Japanese, we could start working on that. I'm not going to. But we're in that era, you know. Picking up those stars. All right, so space station. This is going to be... I think we're going to get a lot of shared projects we can do, and they should go pretty fast just on because of how big we are, you know? So we have to build it somewhere away from civilization. That'll be done very quickly. Look at that. Right? That's why they built all that stuff down in Florida, away from civilization. We can also make missile silos. And we've discovered aluminum. Look at this. Our capital city has been next to a source of aluminum this entire game, all of history, but we didn't know what it was until just recently. Oh, man. Oh, my God. I just said we were making, what, 8,000 science per turn? And now we're making 15,000 per turn? Because of all those research institutes. It's crazy. This is the most science I've ever seen in this game. Okay. So, yeah, look. All of these things will just take, like, 1 or 2 turns each. What do we want to get? Civil engineering looks like a better colony plan, money per land trade route, highways so our roads are faster, construction teams to make new outposts, you know, offshore platforms, power lines give us a pretty decent bonus across the board for our aluminum deposits, which is cool. Hydroelectric dams. Research Institute just gives us fame for doing. Continuous track is a military one. We get some tanks and stuff. Naval air strategy is naval money, new boats. Free trade. Cheaper trade, okay. In the financial district. Which must be an infrastructure. More money if we have oil. Amphibious warfare. Computing will get us our emblematic ship here. Science on regular districts. Fighter jets we can start getting. SAMs. We probably want communication satellites. The geosynchronous satellite. Gives us influence, money, science. 20% detection for stealth units. Provides vision over part of the map's latitudes. So it just gives us a big thing of vision because we have a satellite out in space showing us things. So, we want the satellites. We want to get up into space. The race is on. We've built the first space station. That would be a notification out to all of the other players. We can now make the lunar lander. That's going to be important. But where can I build it safely? Oh, we can make it over the site of our space station launch. What do we want to say when they go out in space? We can stimulate the country. Give everyone learning. We can make demands. Demand that they produce more or motivate them to be prosperous. Let's stimulate their minds. Okay, now all these cities, you know, we could keep building things for them, but since these are shared projects we need to finish, let's just have everyone work on the lunar lander and it'll go by much faster. I'm gonna rush these down. Blood or gold? Punishment. How should ordinary crimes be punished? Why are we only figuring this out now? It seems like we should have figured this out a long time ago. Okay. Ordinary crimes. Should we do physical punishment or forfeiture? Physical is stability for all population. Forfeiture is money per population. My stability is pretty good. So I think if you commit a crime you must forfeit some of your possessions to the state.
Just don't turn the legal system into a surreptitious way to impoverish your enemies.
Okay, we completed a special task. We got fame for that. Oh, here we go. All right, so now we can build the geosynchronous satellite in one turn. And here's the Mars colony. We don't have the uranium to build it. And we don't have enough oil and aluminum, but we have enough where we can do it slowly. But we need uranium. So first let's go for the satellite. Build it right there. And then let's look at the tech tree. How do we find... I'm sure that I have uranium within my borders, just because we're so huge. But we must not know how to find it yet. So where is it? Uranium. Uranium enrichment. That won't take very long. All right, this is overkill, but we're going to get that satellite done. The human stain. Capital punishment. What should the death penalty be replaced with? A lifetime sentence, which gives us stability, or rehabilitation. Oh, +1 stability per district, or +1 per population.
There's nothing wrong with a society based on boundless optimism.
You gotta rehabilitate, man.
You have unlocked the Research Institute. It will not merely provide additional answers, but open up a whole range of ever more perplexing questions.
Okay. We have the world's first satellite in orbit. We can now make a polar satellite, which we'll build right there. There we go. We brought the polar satellite down from like 10 turns to 1. A mournful song. Okay, this happens after you start whale fishing for a while. You get this event. We can ban whale fishing, regulate it, or just overlook it, in which case something else might happen. So if we ban it, everyone celebrates. You can't whale fish anymore. All of our whale fishing that we already built goes away. We can regulate it. Prohibits constructible whale fishing. So maybe we can keep what we already have, but you can't make more. And we become prosperous. Or we can just overlook it, let them keep going. Let's go ahead and ban it. Save the whales, all that stuff. All right, uranium. We got a planetary observation satellite launch. Now then, okay, so we can now make a satellite network, which I think one of these satellites, maybe it's this one, it says provides vision over 300% of the map's latitudes. Okay, so we have the satellite network and Mars colony, but we need that uranium first. And now we can find that we've had uranium all along. Oil? Up there. We can finally access it. All right, let's get power lines, because we get a bonus to everything for our aluminum.
I just think of you as one of those characters that enjoys collecting things. Stamps, coins, resources, power.
That's right. We got a world deed because we have access to every resource in the game. Speaking of that, let's go back to trade. Is there anything we can buy access to from somebody else? Luxuries? Stuff from Nock. Oh my god. We're making so much of everything. It's beautiful. Alright, here we go. Mars colony might be the game ending one. Let's do the satellite network first. It shouldn't take very long. We'll build it out here on this little peninsula. And I need everyone in the country to help out with these projects. Stop what you're doing and build a satellite network. Yeah, so with the satellite network, we're the first to discover 100% of the world.
A phenomenal achievement of civilization-wide ingenuity. Perspiration, collaboration, bureaucracy, and a dozen supertankers worth of coffee.
And we finished all of the satellite launches so we get extra fame. But yeah, now we have vision on the entire planet.
A competing empire has accomplished.
I don't care what they've accomplished. Talk about me.
A cry of astonishment, and perhaps a pang of jealousy.
Yeah, so you can see before, we still couldn't see this area just because we hadn't been close enough and we're not sharing maps with these guys. But now we have a satellite network. We can see the entire planet. We can see what everyone is doing all over the world. Wow. Look at all these districts. They've still got horses and buggies. What about the Japanese? What do their cities look like? What are all these? Market quarters? Research quarters? I feel like the computer players always make a lot more districts than I do. You can see their cities look very full, you know? Whereas mine, I build on like half of it and the other half is still unbuilt. Maybe I'd be better off with more districts, but we're doing fine. Okay. Next up then is Mars Colony. This might be it. Right here. This will be the site of the Mars Colony project. We're gonna pitch in everyone's industry. The Prime Meridian. In honor of your empire's famed status, this Prime Meridian has been voted to run through your empire's capital, as it should. How should you celebrate this age of scientific enlightenment? We can commemorate it, get science investing. Or an expedition of our most distinguished minds will circumnavigate the globe. Yeah, that might be fun. I don't even know if they'll get it done by the time the game's over, but look at our aluminum mine down there, so shiny. What about the uranium? What does that look like? Whoa. Looks like an alien landed there. That's what it looks like.
Perspiration,
You already said that.
bureaucracy.
We're getting stars left and right. How's that look? The agrarian stars are full. We've gotten silver on a few others. They're coming along. But, you know, to get the game end for getting all 21 stars, we would have to go fight somebody, too. But I don't think we're going to need to. The Mars thing, I think, is done. So what's next? I don't know. What else do we have left in technology? Oh, wow, look, if you get Space Orbital, you get Space Station, +3 on the city cap, and plus 50% money on all cities. At this point, we're just unstoppable. I've run away with the game. We're just way ahead of everybody. If I was on a harder difficulty, we'd have maybe more things to worry about. You know, if Japan was close in fame, we'd have to target more fame gains, or maybe go war with them, try and get some militarist stars, or, you know, wipe them out, something like that, to make sure we stay ahead. But we've just pulled so far ahead, it's impossible for us to lose, basically. But that's okay. This is a learning game. Oh my god, 20,000 fame. It's crazy. Crazy. The Red Planet, here we go. Oh yeah, people have already left on the Mars mission. The only question is, do you wish to let history judge your reign now, or do you wish to play with your rivals some more? Ah, this must be the end game trigger. So we can end it. Triggers the end of the game at the next turn, so we're finally there. Or we can just get a huge bonus of science, influence, and money, and just be like, we're gonna mess around with you guys some more. If I wanted to keep playing, go to war or something, you know, missile the Japanese, that sort of stuff, we could. But I think we've seen enough. Let's end this game. That gives us one more turn. Lets everybody know this is the last turn. We won the space race by finishing the Mars mission. So let's wrap it up.
The march of human history is long, making your place in it an even greater achievement. No other civilization has equaled your ability to leave a lasting mark on humankind. History will not remember you as a warrior, or banker, or farmer. Your fame was garnered more or less everywhere. Not all empires are able to gain fame by building a wonder, but you did. An awe-inspiring achievement, and a great place for tourists. Above and beyond all this, one thing you have left to posterity is a healthy, green planet with mere traces of pollution. And though your people may have found it difficult, History is certainly impressed. You participated in the longest war. Congratulations. Under your guidance, the thrilling tale of humankind has been rewritten in your own words. There may be future adventures and deeds, and even grander scope for this grand story. Regardless, you have left a great mark and answered the question. How far will you push humankind?
That's it. We did it. That last speech they give is kind of cool because it's tailored specifically to what you did in your game. So some of those things that he just said I hadn't heard before. I liked when he was like, you got your fame through, you know, a variety of different activities, because that's really what I was shooting for in this game. I wanted to do a little bit of everything, and I feel like we did. But as always, it comes down to the fame in the end. I crushed everyone with fame. Industrial is when I got the most. Suck it, Agamemnon. You never had a chance. And then for every player, it gives you a really quick summary of every era, how many stars you got, how much fame you got, that sort of stuff. Ugh, my Dutch era. It didn't go how I wanted it to. But that's okay. So yeah, that is what it looks like to play through a game of Humankind. God, I killed it when I was Russian. We did so good. It's really fun. You know, like I said at the beginning, I'm coming from a background of playing a lot of Civilization, which I still like. I love Civilization. It really got me into this style of game, and I still have fun with it. But I've played so much Civilization over the years that when I played Humankind for a little bit and found like, hey, actually this is fun and it's different, I really got hooked. And I've been having a really good time with it. So if you watch this whole thing, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that, you know, it gave you some interest in this game. Or if you already had it, maybe helped you learn how it works and how to get through the game by yourself. You know, I hope it was helpful. As always, if you have any questions or if there's anything that I didn't talk about, feel free to ask me, and I will. I'll see what I can do to help you out there. But yeah, you know, if you're like me, you've played Civilization or other strategy games, and you're looking for something new, I would recommend Humankind. I think it's fun. You know, we played on the Metropolis difficulty, the normal difficulty, yeah. And I feel like clearly, at my skill level, which I wouldn't even say I'm super skilled, but clearly it's too easy for me, right? I need to be playing on something harder, because we crushed everybody. Since Era 2, we were leading in fame, and that just exploded after that. So we were going to win the whole time. But you can see, oh my God, how near Era 5 and 6, we just took off. We were unstoppable. Stability is a little more up and down depending on what's going on. Look at the religion. We had a pretty powerful religion up until this point, and then we did that what? I don't remember what it was called. It's like atheism or state secularism or something. We were just like, you know what? Never mind on the religion, and it just totally dropped. Research was pretty even with the Japanese that whole time. Oh, look at that. Orange, despite not really being a player on the world stage for most of the game, their trade actually was the best at the end. Maybe it's because they were dealing with us. I don't know. And yeah, right about this point, I think, is when we were warring with Green, and we really got our military up to its heights. And then we stopped fighting right here. That's why there were no changes, because I didn't make any more units after that point. That's it. And now at this point, I'm going to start a new game of Humankind just for myself. because it's fun. And every time you play, it's a little bit different. You know, you can have different numbers of competitors. You can change who they are, how hard they are. We played on the fast pace, so, you know, if you play this on normal, everything takes a little bit longer. But I was trying to keep it moving along just for these videos. There's a lot of harder difficulty levels where the computers get bonuses. They try to get more fame rather than just getting enough stars to go up to the next era, you know? So it's a little bit more competitive. I assume if we were playing on Nation or Empire, the Japanese would have probably attacked us more, tried to take more of our cities. But that's all a story for another day. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next time. We'll play something different. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it'll be a good time. And I'll see you there.